What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, I don't talk about video games on here very often. Like, I've only talked about Xenoblade, and that's pretty much it. So, when I talk about a video game on here, I want it to be a game that has made an impact on me. A game that I know I can make interesting, videos on, and a game that I feel can be opened up for good discussion. So, with that being said, we're here to talk about Metaphor Refantazio. Now, Metaphor Refantazio, at least to me, is the best game that got released in 2024. It has the best story, it has the best combat, it looks amazing. It's just an awesome and an amazing experience. If you haven't experienced it for yourself, go and experience it. But the main thing that I want to talk about today is its one major flaw that it has as a game. Now, you're probably asking yourself on paper, what is this game's major flaw? Like I just said, the game is amazing, essentially. Like, it's one of the best games that's been put out. What is its major flaw? Well, if you go and experience this game, yes, there's amazing voice acting. Yes, there's amazing story. The storyline's amazing. Yes, the combat's great. But then you get to the rank up moments and you're like, okay, bet. Like, we're going to have great voice acting in this. Like, the storylines are just going to be so amazing in these rank ups. And then you get to rank 1 and you're like, okay, great. There's voice acting. We're going to get to hear all these amazing voice actors pretty much give great performances in their side content. And then you get to rank 2. You get to rank 2 and there's no voice acting. And then you get to rank 3 and there's no voice acting. And you start to wonder, wait a minute, is there going to be no voice acting throughout the rest of this thing? And then you get to rank 8. And then there's finally voice acting again. You only get voice acting in ranks 1 and rank 8. That's essentially the major flaw that this game has. They only have voice acting in the first rank and the last rank. That's it. That's all you get for the voice acting. Now, this wouldn't be such a big problem on paper if the storylines weren't some of the best in Atlas history. Perfect example, Heismay. Heismay is quite possibly the best party member that Atlas has ever made. He's easily in the top 5, maybe top 8. He's one of the best. So you get his rank up and you think it's going to be oh, he's just going to be giving these great performances and shit. Heismay as a voice actor is going to be popping off this entire storyline. And then you get to rank 2 and you're just reading lines of dialogue. And then you get to rank 3 and you're just reading lines of dialogue. And like I said, this wouldn't be a big deal. But Heismay's storyline in particular is so fucking good. Heismay essentially dealing with survivor's guilt. Him dealing with the fact that he couldn't protect his son. Him essentially seeing Will as his surrogate son. Him talking about his necklace and how that's essentially him carrying his son into the final battle with Luis. Heismay's story is so good. So the fact that you don't get to hear his voice actor give this story life, give this story the energy that it needs, that's just so disappointing to me. I'm not as invested if I'm just reading lines of dialogue when I know that just arcs ago, just mere hours ago, Heismay was giving some of the best performances in any Atlas game. You go and look at his monologue to the Queen, after that battle with her. You go and listen to that monologue. That is one of the best performances in any Atlas game. So the fact that you don't get to hear more of that in his storyline when you're doing his rank up, the fact that you don't get to hear that voice acting until ranks 1 and rank 8 is just, it's incomprehensible. And this is a problem that spans with every character. It's not just Heismay. All the characters suffer in their storylines because there's no voice acting. Take Alonzo, for example. Alonzo is a character that you think is going to be one note. You get further along into his storyline, and you see his village getting burned to the ground, and you see his mother die because of his actions in the story. That should hit so hard on paper, But the fact that there's no voice acting in it, the fact that I have to read lines of dialogue like where the characters just feel lifeless because they don't have voice acting kills me. Like Alonzo's story right there, I should be feeling something, but I'm not because I'm not getting to hear the performances that I know these voice actors can give. They are essentially being robbed of delivering some great ass material that we don't get to hear. It's ridiculous, man. And it's not just Heismay and Alonzo. Every single character in this game suffers from that to some degree. Stroll, Hulkenberg, Basilio, all these characters suffer from no voice acting in their rank ups until the beginning and the end. It's stupid. The fact that they keep that from you. Now, while I've been ranting for a little bit now because of this, when you peel back the layers, I start to understand why there's no voice acting, why they essentially kept that from the development. And the reason why is like when you look at the development cycle of Metaphor Refantazio, this game essentially started development alongside vanilla Persona 5, like back in the PS3 era. And that was essentially when they were doing no voice acting at all. So this was essentially normal to Atlas back then. So they were probably so far along that they might not have been able to implement it. I don't know. But still, the fact that there's no voice acting in any of these rank ups is just criminal to me. And it's just upsetting. Now, their hope isn't all lost though for getting to hear these voice actors give performances in these rank up moments. And the reason why I'm saying this is there's a rumor going around. If you've been around Twitter recently, you know that there's a rumor that Atlas may be giving this game a re-release already. Like, and the fact that it's so wildly successful, I'm not surprised that they might give it a re-release. And if they give it a re-release and they try to make this the definitive version of Metaphor Refantazio, that's probably when voice acting will be put into the rank up moments. So that's essentially possibly where my biggest flaw with this game will be resolved. But it shouldn't take a new game for them to have voice acting in these rank ups. This is something that they should have like gotten the voice actors back for and just have them do it. I don't understand. I get scheduling and all that, but like, I think you could have gotten these voice actors to come back and work on these storylines. I don't think it would have been that taxing, but again, we might have to wait until the inevitable re-release of Metaphor Refantazio, the definitive version of Metaphor Refantazio, to have voice acting in these rank up moments. And honestly, even though like this video could probably be moot by the time that happens, this is still essentially the biggest flaw that Metaphor Refantazio has as a game. Like I said, story a 10 out of 10. Gameplay a 10 out of 10. One of the best gaming experiences I've had in a long time, but it's held short by no voice acting in the rank up moments, and it's just like a weird it's just such a weird instance of like bad quality in the game when it hasn't had that the whole time. I don't know. That's just me though. What did you guys feel? How do you guys feel about Metaphor Refantazio's rank up moments? Do you not care, or do you care that there's no voice acting at all in these rank ups until ranks 1 and rank 8? Or do you not really care at all and you pretty much didn't even really notice? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Bye.